Different lessons, same fight for the mind. Couch conversations cut deeper than pride. No filters here, nothing to hide. We question the past, we challenge the now. Trying to figure out the why and the how. Different views, but the same pursuit. Precious minutes. The gag order lifted. Now everybody talking loud. Microphones out, everybody want a crowd. Opinions fly fast, blame pass hand to hand. But consequences don't care what side you stand. 35 years, that's a lifetime clock. Every tick another door, another dream locked. People online still fighting for a team, while reality is heavier than it seems. See, truth ain't always found in the loudest voice. Life is a series of decisions and chores. The courtroom closed, the sentence came down, but we still spend our days just passing blame around. But wasting precious minutes, precious time, pointing fingers while the clock keeps its stride. Everybody talking, everybody got a side, but accountability is where the answers hide. Precious minutes, they never come back. One decision can forever change your path. The noise gets louder, but the lesson stays clear. Actions got consequences, whether fair or severe. Now families hurting, communities divide. Everybody got a narrative they're trying to provide. Race, politics, emotion in the air, but consequences don't bend because life ain't fair. The mirror.
Tonight on Same Soul, Different Roots, we have a different segment tonight. There's been a lot going on in society today. There's been a lot of lack of accountability, a lot of pointing of fingers, and a lot of us speaking out of turn. But the gag order has been lifted, and we're going to be showing you 4 interviews tonight here at the Same Soul, Different Roots, with myself, Souls of Thought, and the one and only Soft Rain. But tonight, the premise of this show is going to be the same premise of the Solely with Souls segment that went live Saturday morning. It says, the faith of a million of people, indeed the future of the Black community itself, may depend on the willingness of those who care about racial justice to re-examine their basic assumptions. So welcome to Same Souls, Different Roots, and you have myself, Souls, and the one and only First Lady, Soft Rain. So we are coming to y'all tonight, and we're going to get right to it tonight. We're not playing with your algorithm. We're not going to be throwing in the chaser games, no icebreakers, nothing of that nature. We're going to get right into what you see that's on the title. We're going to talk to you guys talk back. And remember, most importantly, tonight is about having a conversation. So tune in, buckle up, and we're about to start. The first interview of the night is going to be with the judge. Here we go. Let's see.
John Roach, John Roach.
Now, I know the answers to that. I know the answer to that question, but I got to ask it for the record.
100%.
You've been on the bench for some time.
Yep, I've been on the bench for about 20 years.
20 years, and this is the end.
In 6 months will be in the end.
Did you want to take on this trial?
I wanted the Collin County Judiciary to take on this trial. It was important to me to have somebody from Collin County preside over this Collin County case. So I didn't ask for it. No one that's not how it works anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it, but I was certainly willing to do it because that was my duty.
In your conversations with, I guess it's an administrative judge who goes, I know they go down the list and they say, all right, it's your turn, it's your turn. As they go through all the conflicts of judges that may, potential conflicts, when they come and say, John, this may be yours, your first reaction is?
I'll take it every time. I think it's my job. It's my duty. That's what I was elected to do.
Yeah.
That's the oath that I took, and I'm going to do my job.
No consultation with your family or?
No.
Nope. And where's that come from?
I don't know. I think it's just duty. I think duty, whether that's duty in the Marine Corps or just duty to my family and stuff, I take duty really seriously. And I took this job to perform that duty. And if that's what I had to do, that's what I have to do.
Did you fully at the time grasp the enormity of that decision and the outside stuff?
I don't know. I think in some ways I did. I think in other ways I didn't. I certainly knew it was very, very important case within our community. I didn't think I realized the enormity of the social media and the media during the trial.
How long have you been prepping for this trial?
I've been prepping for this trial with the departments, with the Collin County system, with the sheriff's office and everybody for about 8 months.
Is that the longest you've ever had to prep?
100%.
Why?
Logistics. One of the critical pieces of this case where we had minors who were testifying. Prior to me getting the case, we had some of those witnesses doxxed and swatted and revealed on social media. I didn't want that to add to the already traumatic event they've been through. And I didn't want them to change their testimony or be uncooperative with people trying to call them as a witness out of fear. And so my number one duty at that point in time getting the case was to how do we protect those minors who are critical to this case to come and testify.
I'm sure you've already read and know that one of your fellow judges has already been doxxed and swatted and all the things.
I didn't know that.
And still no reluctance from wanting to take it on.
None.
Yeah. The decision to not have cameras or any kind of streaming, was that an easy one?
Yes, it was an easy decision. And I'll tell you why. My primary goal in any case is to make sure that the defendant and the prosecution gets a fair trial, period. I have seen from other cases around the country where cameras in the courtroom changed the way that the judge acted, the lawyers acted, some of the witnesses acted, and we were not going to have that here. We were going to really isolate the purpose for which we were here for, which is to have that fair trial, and cameras in the courtroom did not enter into that equation at all.
How much?
So we're going to stop this throughout tonight. Of course, myself and Rain are going to be discussing these interviews. Wrenches just be on site, let people cook. I will only be reading super chats tonight only. We will be going through these interviews. Again, y'all are welcome to speak your mind in the comments, but keep it respectful. But Rain, I do want to start here. What is your thoughts about him saying that the reason why he wanted to keep cameras out of the courtroom?
I think it was a good idea. Even though it was a public trial that essentially gained national attention, there's dozens of these, probably hundreds of these trials that go on throughout the United States that we never see or never hear of. I think we initially got word of this because of race. It was a Black young kid who killed a white young kid, so of course that gained national attention because of that. So I think he was a responsible judge in knowing that he knows the effects of having cameras in the courtroom. He knows that changes people, the way they present themselves, and probably the way they want to be seen as well. So I think that was a responsible decision on his behalf to not have cameras in the courtroom.
Okay, I agree. And I watched a lot of these interviews, guys. So I won't give too. Yeah, taking a sip. So I won't give too much information. I'll kind of let him get to certain parts, so then I can let people know why I agree or not agree with certain parts. But I do agree with the cameras in the court. I thought his reasoning behind it was a common sense reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you would think, oh, this person's doing this because of a certain reason. He gave a reason that made sense to the masses. So here we go.
How much grief did you get from people around you about that decision?
I don't know. I don't listen to it. I just flat don't listen to what's going on the outside. I do what I think is right, no matter what decision that is. And I sleep well at night knowing if I follow the law, then everything works out like it's supposed to. And so these outside influences, all the noise from the outside, I really isolated myself from that in this case and in all cases, and just do my job, do the best I can, following the law.
How do you think we're talking with the attorneys, other attorneys outside of this. How do you think they describe you?
Strict, no nonsense, fair, and that to me is the most important part. I know for a fact when I make a decision here, people are unhappy. What I hope is when they walk out the door that they think they got a fair trial, or a fair hearing, or fair something. And if they do that, no matter what they think about me personally, then I've succeeded.
And you're okay with any of those characterizations?
I think they're fair.
Yeah. I hate to have to ask about stuff that emerges on social media, but I have to ask it. And I know you don't know any of it because you're not on social media.
I'm on it. I mean, I'm an elected official, so I have a Facebook page and stuff. Do I look at it? Do I monitor it? Do I let it impact me? None, not at all.
So I have to ask, do you have a personal relationship with the Metcalfs?
I wouldn't know Mr. Metcalf prior to this trial if he walked up to me and said hello. I don't know the Metcalfs. I sympathize with the Metcalfs and what they've been through and all, but I don't know them personally. Never have.
So these AI images emerging of you and them at a party or drinking together, all
Never
of that.
happened. And that's the problem with social media, isn't it? You can't tell what's true and what's not true. I will tell you, I got some reports of some things that were coming out of this courtroom, and I wondered to myself, were they even in the same courtroom that I was?
So this is the part that I wanted to get to because as I was asking Rain about how she felt about cameras not being there, it didn't even matter the people who were there. There was still not truth provided to everyone. And I think this is why AI is going to be so dangerous in the future, is because everybody now can create a narrative to cause more division. He's going to go on in a few seconds to talk about how everybody had the same equal right to stand outside in line. And I think it was 32 seats they had available for people of the public, and it changed every day. And if y'all go back and watch on social media, there was never a person that came out of the courtroom that gave their opinion. So let me say that again. It was never a person that came out the courtroom and gave their opinion. Every opinion is just like I was giving my opinion. I wasn't there. Other people were, a lot of people weren't even there giving their own opinion about what was going on inside. He's even about to talk about the lady who was doing the sketches, who wasn't that good, but bless her heart. You're going to see that it's a lot of transparency here. So it's a very unique interview,
That bad. And I think that's tragic because I think really if you just listen to the case based upon the facts, you'd understand it so much better.
Do you think it reinforced your decision to not have cameras or streaming inside this?
Sort of. I will tell you this. Sometimes I think maybe I should have at least the audio streamed or something so people could hear it. But at the end of the day, I don't think no matter what, people are going to distort whatever happens or whatever they hear into their own agenda.
So I like that right there. Again, we're going to be stopping these tonight, y'all, so bear with us. I like that he was transparent there. Hey, maybe I should have had at least audio there. You know what I mean? Maybe so that people can hear the truth instead of having to rely on the things that people are saying is going on inside the courtroom.
But don't courtrooms nowadays anyways have video and audio recordings going on?
I think they do for like internal purposes, but I don't know if those are ever going to get released. Yeah.
And so what's the point? And again, that noise affects people. It affects the fairness of the trial, the safety of the witnesses, the safety of the jury. And those are my primary concerns, not what social media says. It's not my duty. I don't think it's my job to feed social media or the media stuff. I certainly understand the role that media plays in a case like this, but I'm not here to feed it. And I took that very, very seriously.
But Judge, when people don't have access to the trial or the courtroom, doesn't it invite speculation?
Well, sort of, but I got 70 seats in my courtroom, and I had 200 requests by the media to sit in the courtroom. So let's say if I just entertain the press, then I have nobody from the public watching what's going on in their county. And so I had to do a balance between the media's right to know and to be able to report what's going on, because I think that's extraordinarily important. I think it's important that the general public had access to the courtroom and to see what was going on. And so I tried to balance all those things with the primary, again, purpose of having a fair trial. And I think I struck that balance pretty well.
But the media's right to know is the public's right to know, is the public's access. We are the extension of that public.
I think somebody from the public who wanted to come watch a trial and know that they were excluded from a trial because all the media was there, I beg to differ.
Do you think there was a possibility for a learning experience? I mean, people do not know about how trial works. Do you think that this may have been an opportunity for people to know how it truly works, and that kind of erases some of the the negative notions of court and trial.
I'm doing this
justice.
interview with you to make sure that people understand how the system works. And if they really wanted to, and I mean this seriously, if they wanted to, they could have stood in line with everybody else and had the 27 to 32 public seats that we had in this courtroom that we rotated every day. And so was that important to them? They could have made it in here.
And I thought that's what stood out the most. We're going to go through a lot of interviews tonight, and there's going to be a lot of things said that I think are going to hit home, especially for the Black community. Is going to hit home just because there was a lot of speculations, but I think actions speak louder than words. If you heard what he said, right? If people really wanted to get in here, they had 27 to 32 seats that was rotated on a daily basis. And if you wanted to wait, or if you wanted to get there early enough to be one of those 27 to 32 seats, you would have been there.
Yeah.
And the way that we reacted outside of the courthouse, I definitely would think we would want it to be in that line.
I agree. If you want to know what's going on so badly and you want to be in the courtroom to watch it, he gave opportunity. Slim opportunity, yes, but he can say he gave opportunity. Yeah. So, and if just like they sleep outside, or we sleep outside for them Jordans whenever they drop, or whatever the AP watches, whatever's dropping, we sleeping outside in tents and in camp chairs. If they really wanted to be inside, they would have slept outside.
Don't tell them. Yeah, y'all be nice to Ray tonight too. I know. Be a little touchy. Be a little touchy. Yeah, I agree. We wait outside for concerts. We wait outside for grand openings of a burger that's getting out for free. I've seen us wait for a lot of things. Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree. When it's important to you, you would definitely do what you need to do to get inside. So I agree. So, here we go.
How did you plan for some of the outside noise?
Well, we were certainly playing with the Sheriff's Office and the McKinney Police Department and the Allen Police Department and the Frisco Police Department. So those were talks that we were having 8 months before the trial to ensure the safety of the people out in the parking lots. They certainly had a right to demonstrate and all, and I think we struck a very, very good balance that allowed them to do that, at the same time maintaining safety of everybody involved. Did
it affect your day-to-day decisions?
It didn't. Actually, I didn't. I came in from a different entrance from the courthouse. I didn't come in through the front. I couldn't hear any noise at all from my office. The jurors were not facing the parking lot, so they didn't see anything or hear anything. And I think we did a marvelous job in isolating them and having them concentrate just on what was going on in this courtroom, which was my instruction from the very, very beginning.
What made this trial different?
I think it started off bad. And it started off bad with the doxing and the swatting of the judge and the parties, the witnesses, and all that stuff. So I think it started off bad, and I'm going to attribute that to social media. And I think social media got it wrong. And it is what it is. I think that's something we have to live with these days. But I think it's my responsibility and other judges' responsibility to make sure, no matter what's going on in social media, that someone can walk in a courthouse and get a fair trial.
Did it make it very different when you realized a lot of your witnesses are young witnesses?
No, look, I've been doing this for 20 years. A lot of the witnesses come in all shapes and sizes and colors and all that. And so that was normal for me. What wasn't normal for me is to have those witnesses be intimidated by things being said on social media, because those young people rely on social media more than I certainly do. And so that sure impacted me, to make sure that they did not change their testimony. They were willing to come in and tell the truth without fear of being doxxed or swatted and stuff. And so I took every precaution that I could, consistent with the law, to make that happen.
I know Steve brought it up too, and I know both sides probably brought it up as well. The AI images of people claiming to be inside this courtroom.
Yeah, that ticked me off a little bit, because if you're going to call yourself the press, and people are going to depend on you to tell them what's going on in this courtroom, you should be telling the truth. And so Mr. Stoller, a public information officer, brought it to my attention that some news outlets were posting photos saying from inside the courtroom. And it wasn't my courtroom. It wasn't the witness. It wasn't their testimony. And that's tragic.
So as you see there, we're getting a very transparent look at what was going on, even to the new from the news outlets. People posting pictures saying they're actually at the courtroom, saying they're actually there at the trial, telling people what's going on that wasn't true. And I really will encourage us as parents to really educate our children on the dangers of social media today. I think social media started off as us to be able to stay connected with family and friends, and now it's a means to division. So I will highly encourage you guys tonight to really hone in on social media, what your children are taking in on a day-to-day basis, because it can be very traumatic. Like you said, these were peers of Carmelo and some of Austin Metcalf. Their peers who are having to deal with this for almost a whole year of being doxxed, cell phones being taken away, probably couldn't even get nothing but like a prepaid phone while they were waiting. Who knows the rules behind that? So their whole life was isolated to this incident until till it was over. So something to really think about. You got anything on that, Rain?
No, I'm
All right.
listening to this interview. It's just everything's making sense that he's saying. There's nothing I can't disagree with. It's sad that I know they were preparing for the trial. I wish they would have done the trial a whole lot sooner than a year later, because as young folk get influenced by different things going on around them, their stories could change. You know what I'm saying? So I know that they probably wrote original statements. They probably recorded original statements. But over that whole year period, things could have changed. And the way that they saw it was changed. They could have been influenced as well. So
yeah. All right.
Because again, that just breeds the narrative that these people want to cultivate in our community to drive a wedge between us. And I think that's terrible.
Since we're on the topic of image, can we talk about some of the drawings
Sure,
of you doing the sketch art? What do you think? What do you think?
My wife would show me a drawing every once in a while of a court case going on. I couldn't figure out who the judge was. And all, all in serious, the sketch artist was awesome. She was very sweet. She was here every day, putting her life's work into those images. Because we didn't have cameras in the courtroom, that's the only visual that anybody got. She did a marvelous job. I think I'm more handsome than what she portrayed overall, but I'll let everybody else figure that out.
Did the jury get it right?
Yeah, they did. You know why? Because they were picked based upon the law. They listened to the facts. It happened here in this very courtroom, and they got a verdict. And so that's the process. And whatever they say, they get it right.
There's going to be a lot of scrutiny over voir dire. Mm-hmm. And you denied the defense and the dismissing of 3 jurors who at least identified as African American on their bioforms. What did you make of that moment?
Well, that's not exactly how it works. The defense didn't dismiss them.
I'm sorry, the defense raised an objection.
They raised an objection. Yeah, they raised an objection. Like I told you before, as long as I follow the law, I sleep well at night. And I'm telling you, I follow the law in that case. Did I know what the perception was going to be? Sure. I knew in the back of my mind what the perception was going to be, but I'm not here to satisfy perceptions. I'm not here to satisfy agendas. I'm not here to do any of those things. I'm here to follow the law, and I did it to a T, and I'm proud of that. Very proud of that.
Is this your last big trial?
It's my last big trial. The sad part of it.
Listen to this, y'all. Listen to what he's about to say. The man just asked him, and listen to this, y'all. If y'all don't hear nothing else tonight from this judge, listen to this next part. He just asked him, was this the biggest case in your history? But watch what he's about to say, guys.
About it is, I will tell you before I leave at the end of the year, I'll try a couple more murder cases, for example. The parking lot won't be full. The gallery won't be full of people watching the case. But we still have somebody who's died and someone accused of doing the killing. And it won't draw the attention that this case did. And their death is no less tragic than the tragic death of the young man in this case. And so big trial, I guess, from an outsider's perspective and the social media and the media interest in the case. But crime still happens in Collin County, and every single person deserves to have as fair of a trial that Karmelo Anthony had.
That right there stood out to me out of the whole interview because he made a statement that I think that sometimes, I know we talk about it a lot on No Middleman, and I always tell people we have to do things that are based in that is based and rooted in reality. We can no longer have selective outrage. It's killing the Black society. It's killing Black culture. When we pick who we feel is important to defend, it's killing the culture. because there's another mom right now crying because her black son is behind bars right now over something that either he didn't do, they felt like he was self-defense. Like, this goes on everywhere, y'all. This is a huge world, like 50 states, a million counties and parishes, and we select who we want to defend. We select who we want to pick to divide or bring the world together. And I think it's very important what he said, that there's going to be another murder or two cases that are going to happen in Collin County.
Mhm.
Nobody's going to be picking it outside. It might be another black and white crime, but no one's going to care. And that's my question tonight. When you guys think about what I read for you first by Michelle Alexander, we have to start to re-examine our basic assumptions. What is our ultimate goal in our society? Like, what are we trying to trend towards? What are we trying to move the goalposts towards? Like, are we here to defend every black person or not? Are we here to hold people accountable or not? Like, what are we truly here to do? And I think that's the biggest concern for me, is that we have to learn to take emotions out of everything, because y'all heard this white man. Y'all know what he said each time? I followed the law by the T. I followed the law. I followed the law. Like, the emotions are out of it. Like, there's nothing there. And for us to be able to, and I'm speaking to the men most importantly, because mothers are going to be emotional. Women are going to have their emotions. They're going to be more emotional reactive. But for men, hey guys, we got to start being like this judge. We got to be stoic. In the midst of tragedy, we have to be the calmest in the room. And if you don't have that ability, you might want to start working on it, because it's the only way we're going to be able to move our community forward, our families forward. And if y'all trying to rebuild the nuclear family, it's the only way to rebuild it. We must stay steadfast. We can't no longer be out here calling people, acting like mental health don't matter, telling people they were bullied, and we can't make excuses for people who made choices. There's a saying in the military, I'm sure it's worldwide, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That's the world we live in, guys. So what game do you want to play? So, telling you, man. I think they're going to ask him about Karmelo in a second.
What's your take on Karmelo Anthony?
Right on time.
I don't know. I really don't know.
You've had a lot of defendants in your courtroom.
I've had a lot of defendants in my courtroom, and I talked to Mr. Anthony a couple of times because I'm legally required to go over some things with him. He seems like a nice young man who committed a crime, and he understands today more than any day before today the consequences of committing a crime like he did.
Last question.
Yes, sir.
The future of the justice system. What do you think about it when you realize you have all these social media influencers and citizen journalists?
I don't know. I hope that the judges that hear cases, period. I was about to say high-profile cases, but that's not it. It's just any case. Realizes the importance of their job, and their job is to be fair to the state and to the defendant, and to protect the people that come before them and make just and right decisions based upon the law. And if we can do that, that's great. The influence of social media, I think, is going to continue to impact our communities everywhere. And I hope that we can rely upon our justice system to weed through the noise and find justice for everybody who comes through our doors.
This is a personal.
So we're going to end it there. What is your final thoughts on this first interview of the night by the judge of the Karmelo Anthony case?
I liked his takes on, or his thoughts on his job, his justice system, or the justice system that he works for. I don't know. I'm not for certain how much influence he had on the case as far as like jury selection, sentencing, and all that. I didn't deep dive into all that. There is some things about the case that I did not agree with. But just hearing him talk, he seems like a sensible person that wanted to do his job by the book, black and white. white paper,
No pun.
black letters. So.
Thank you. No pun intended. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree, man. I appreciate everybody being respectful in the chat tonight too. I know these are touchy subjects. Appreciate Into Deep and Ambition for holding it down. Those people with the green and blue would definitely be put on the screen. Those are the members of the Souls membership. So I appreciate y'all for being here. We'll be reading this one. Merrill Washington said, taking out the feelings is the only way to make the Black community better. Remember to teach our kids for every action taken, there is a reaction. And I think you said that beautifully. And I want y'all to really think about it. What that judge said about Karmelo is how I looked at it. He was a decent young man, from what we know, who made a bad decision. And if we can look at things from that point of view, we can then move forward to, hey, the decision now has consequences, and how do we help this young man out? And I think that's what we're going to try to talk about today. Is like, how do we soften the landing? That's what I try to encourage people. And a lot of these things I think about is just for me being a parent, right? Like, our kids are going to make mistakes. Our kids are going to do things that we don't like, things that we did not teach them to do. But the one thing that we can do is make sure that we're there to soften the landing. You know what I mean? We have to make sure we're there. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty interesting. And some of these things, my boy Classic in the chat, I got to read. He said, the man went from minding his business to 35 years because some people didn't want to let him mind his business. He said it's a sad situation. So I think everybody has a right to their opinion. I think the biggest thing is, how do we get away from being so concerned about what got them there to understanding the reality of the consequences that are going to happen after the action? You know what I mean? Like what like, how do we solve that? You know what I mean? It's almost like somebody driving their vehicle under the influence, and they harm two other people. Like, do we not tell that person to, like, stop drinking? It was a bad decision. Like, or do do we don't look at every situation this way. You know what I mean? So I think it's one of those things that we have to understand what happens, you know. And there's a lot of young men that get approached. There's a video out right now of the Black man that was in the gymnasium protecting himself against racial slurs. And the biggest thing about it is he didn't pull out a weapon, and he was about to get jumped. And he fought the guy. He knocked the white dude out, punched him. I think we're missing that part. I think we're missing the part of the action. You know what I mean? Like, have y'all ever met somebody who got jumped before? Like, people get jumped. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's like, it's almost like we don't want to okay one. It's not okay. That's not the good word. But like, we're not really thinking through the whole process. Like, we all, not all, but most people probably have been surrounded by multiple people before, or been in situations like a bar fight, things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I think it all depends. I just think it all depends on how you look at life. Mary said, by holding people accountable for their behavior and at the same time support them through it. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing. And I think a lot of people think holding people accountable means that you don't, like, have the empathy or the sympathy behind your message. Like, and that's why I kept saying that I wanted to take my emotions out of the situation so that I could think of better ways that how can we help this young man? How can we get forward into a better position? You know what I mean? Mary said, to me, the question is, why did he have the weapon at the track meet? See, Mary, I didn't even care about that. I didn't even care about him having a weapon. Like, my biggest thing was about now you have to deal with the consequences, though. You see what I mean? Like when I talked about it on my show Friday night or Saturday morning, whenever you watched it, my biggest thing was that we knew everything after this situation happened. We all knew what the barriers were. We all knew what the barriers were. Racism, the battle of self-defense, and the division of whites and blacks. Those were the three battles we were fighting. Like, but if you don't move away, if one of those battles gets you stuck in battle, you will never win. Like, you will never get to the final stage, like, because you're so hung up on the battles. Like, I'm not gonna fight racism to prove my blackness. I'm gonna fight for the young man who needs guidance that people aren't providing him because we're too busy fighting each other about the ultimate consequences. You know what I mean? So, and y'all make y'all can get these people out of here. We no hate here, no hate. We appreciate everybody comments, but no hate. This is adults having conversations tonight. No hate in the chat, please. No hate in the chat. Into Deep said, I grew up in the same situation as Carmelo. I'm assuming that's what he said. I got harassed, jumped, and 3-on-1s, and I always ended up in the principal office as the bad one.
Hey, Kelvin.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so y'all just be nice in the chat, please. Please be nice in the chat. We just having a conversation. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. My opinion is not right. Everybody can have their own opinion. This is just us talking through. Shout out to Roxy. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. So we appreciate everybody, man. Classic, thank you for keeping the chat going. But y'all make sure the wrenches, y'all do y'all thing. He said the public couldn't help him, so you're not talking about the realistic solution. What is the realistic solution, Classic? She said, I'm a big believer that we have to fight racism with knowledge. I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Now, don't get me wrong. I don't feel as though he should have had a knife or whatever kind of weapon he had at a track meet. Okay. He had all rights to defend himself if he was pushed up on. I don't know the details. I didn't watch the film about how it happened or what it happened. But with that being said, he had no business with a knife at a track meet. Okay. So yes, consequences, repercussions from having a knife, that you were the reason another child lost their life. Okay. When it comes to the court case, I feel everything was stacked up against him. In my personal opinion, the jury selection was not fair. Okay. In my personal opinion, the charges were not fair. The conviction of that charge that he got, I don't want to say the word, was not, in my opinion, and Saul Frank's opinion, was not fair. The sentencing was not fair. I think what failed him is not the system, but who was sitting there to help in his defense. Whoever his defense was didn't do what they needed to do to guide him through this. Nobody came to save him. And I'm not talking about just saving him, from being let free or doing self-defense and being acquitted. I'm not talking about that. Yes, there are consequences to his actions, but to me, the 35-year sentence on top of the charge that he was convicted of was not fair in that sense. Yes, it was not fair that Austin lost his life, but in the same sense, there are other cases out there compared to his in the same likeness where charges were abundantly less than what he received.
Yeah. So. And like, again, I was laughing at Classic. I know what he said earlier. He was like, there's no really positive solution. It's not. With that being said, I know Tyson Jackson, a lot of people who are just typing away. I want y'all to hear, because we're not listening. And I think that's what we do a bad job of sometimes. We're not listening. in this case, I feel that the best solution was for us to build the best defense possible
Right.
for Karmelo Anthony. I feel that everyone that's worrying about if it's self-defense, if it's white versus black, like we know those exist. Like I don't know how many times we can repeat. Like I even said on my first show, like you can't beat racism. Racism is going to be undefeated. Like it's if somebody doesn't like white people and black people don't like, that's not going to change. We're not going to change that. But I think you have to now find a way to lessen the sentence for the young man. That's my whole thought process throughout it all. You know what I mean? Like, how do we lessen his fall? How do we lessen, like, how do we, like, I think sometimes if we get away from worrying about self-defense and this and that and just say, hey, he made a mistake or he made a decision, whatever word y'all want to put on it, he did something that will have a consequence. Now we need to fight to get the less sentence of that consequence. That's all I'm thinking that we need to discuss. You know what I mean? The white people who hate black people, that's going to be obvious. Y'all going to see them in the chat tonight. The black people who hate white people, you're going to see those in the chat tonight. The hate is obvious. But my thing is, if we never get past our hatred, how do we help Karmelo? Because you can't help Karmelo being emotional.
Right.
And hate is a form of emotion. Like, you can't help a young man being emotional if you're just unstable mentally as he was that day at the track. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't help each other. One of us got to be cool in this thing. One of us got to be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Classic, for instance, right? I know Classic box. I think I expect Classic to be the coolest and calmest guy in a situation if we got in a situation, because he's already trained for it. So he's already expecting the worst to come. And I feel like we need more people to be able to be that calm to give assistance to this family. And I think a lot of people started to help this family in wrong ways, which we're about to discuss. We have the interview from Dominique Alexandra, the black guy that everybody thought was the attorney initially. He's about to come out and he's about to say a lot of things in his interview. And he's going to say a lot of things about what happened. So that's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? In Too Deep, if you got to, bro, just get them out. In Too Deep, you ain't gotta keep stressing to them. Y'all got wrenches. You, Classic, everybody in here got a wrench. Jen, whoever's in here, if y'all need anybody to be removed, just remove them. No pun intended. So yeah, we're gonna move on to interview number 2. I appreciate the dialogue again. I have nothing. I think everybody has the right to their opinion. He said, so true, souls. I believe this saying is cooler head always prevails. Yeah. He said he didn't lose his life. He risked his life and lost the parlay. Leave people alone. I'm laughing at Classic, y'all, because I hear it. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to interview number 2 here. Interview number 2 is gonna be coming from Dominique Alexandra. So we're gonna hear him. He's right in the state of Texas. So we're gonna hear him speak for a little bit. He's gonna actually talk about the beginnings of what happened, and a lot of people had put him in a certain position that he wasn't exactly suited for or wasn't his role. So here we go.
Work we can. Like, and I sit there and watch everybody. They blaming you. They blaming you. And I did my research. It seemed like you stick your neck out every time when tragic strike. If people didn't know, the Mo 3 event downtown, the balloon release, you set it up. The family, nobody else set it up. You set it up. And I'm watching this situation right now. Was you the first to jump on it?
First one to help this family. First sense of hope and possibility. First person to tell the family, hey, I'm gonna do my best to do whatever I can. You know what I mean? When we first contacted this family, they were getting death threats. They were getting people coming to their house, surrounding them. They didn't know what was going on. They hadn't talked to their son just quite yet. They really didn't understand the level of magnitude. Mind you, we're getting this situation, and I want to tell people all the time, as a human and civil rights organization, Next Generation, Next Network, this is normally a case that we wouldn't get involved with.
Why?
Because this is normally just a criminal case where a situation happens, and the situation, whatever, unless a family called us or directed us, we really had people reaching out to us about this case and saying, hey, can you help this kid, and going out because of the racial tones that were going on. Like,
it took a week.
No, but it was the day, it was the night.
What
It
you
was
mean,
the
like?
night. The night that this tragedy happened.
You reached out?
No. I didn't. I reached out the Friday that it happened, like 2 days.
So I want y'all to hear that, because I don't want to miss these valuable points. This gentleman even said it himself, that they reached out to me just because of the racial tone. They didn't reach out to him because they felt it was self-defense. They reached out to him just because, hey, we now have to find an activist type individual to defend this person. So he's going to say a lot of stuff on here, y'all. We're not going to play all 45 minutes. It's too long, but we'll get through some of it.
2 days, like a day. So right when this happened, you see WFAA, and you see all these reporters and people and comments, and you see these right-wing commentators, Megyn Kelly, and all these people putting out all these stuff or whatever. And it's like, why do you got to be a monkey? Why do you got to be a nigger? Why you got to be this? Why all these threats? You know what I'm saying? So everybody's seeing this, North Texas, everything, and like the white supremacy people just running with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should be hung, he should be shot in the head, all of this. So our organization, like, okay, whatever he did, he deserved due process. You know what I'm saying? This is before I even know the situation, know the case. Everybody deserved due process. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm knowing it of this county because I'm born and raised in Oak Cliff. I know some similarities of this county. I know that this county has a history of hanging niggas. And the reality is okay, so somebody give me in contact with this family so that I can be able to help them with the best thing I can.
So boom. So you get in contact with them. Who brought the lawyers on board?
So you get two different situations. So when I came to the situation, there was an attorney called Billy Clark, right? And there was an attorney called Kim T. Cole.
Right.
And those attorneys was brought in only for the simple fact of, I don't care, when I get a situation there's somebody incarcerated, the only person that can get to a person is the one with a bar card, right? And I don't care whether it's a personal injury attorney or whatever it is. Get to him, tell him to shut up. It got support out here, his family is out here, everything, right? I told the family, I said, hey, we're gonna set up your fund, we're gonna do whatever, you know what I mean? Do whatever we can. We're gonna bring in, security, all this different type of stuff. I told them, I said, hey, y'all gotta find an attorney because these attorneys are not, you know what I'm saying, the permanent attorneys. This one doesn't have experience. And Kim T. Cole, although somebody virally said, Kim T. Cole is my organization's general counsel.
Right. So if y'all trying to keep up with what he's saying, he's currently saying that at the time where Karmelo Anthony was apprehended and was placed at the jail, they needed to get an attorney there as soon as possible. There was a lot of things going on. He's about to talk about it. Y'all are about to see that it was a lot of Black attorneys who refused or did not want to touch the case. And even if they touched the case, the money that they asked for was an amount that no one knew that they could afford. So I want y'all to pay attention because this is what I'm talking about when I talk about we can create a softer landing and things of that nature, right? Because I seen what In Too Deep said about, well, due to his history in the area, that's why they called him. But it was a lot of other people in this area that you can call. And also you don't need to call someone with his background of criminal activity. So here we go.
You know what I'm saying? Kim T. Cole is a good sister. Kim T. The water bill in my house is in Kim T. Cole's name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it just the pure stupidity of theater that people saying, oh, he fired a Black woman attorney to hire. This woman is a civil attorney. You can go on the Texas bar thing and look civil. So you actually brought her in just to get back there in the back to talk to him. Just to talk to him. That's it. That was the whole purpose. That was to get him to shut up because we had.
Now listen to this. Listen to this, y'all. Like, these are the things that people, and see, I'm glad he's kind of talking now. I'm kind of glad that, like, y'all seen the real side of Dominique because now he's trying to clean up his name because this case put all his negative stuff out. And the one thing y'all going to learn about certain people, they're going to try to clean up their name as quick as possible. And he's going to tell the truth. He's literally telling everything because he's trying to ultimately clean his name up so that his Action Network company, nonprofit, doesn't get affected by the thoughts of other people who used to support him. Because again, Dominique Alexander is in the same cities, y'all. He's here in Texas, the state of Texas. He's getting money from these same nonprofits that everybody think is protecting the Metcalf family, and right? Because money all moves in the same direction. So it's a bigger picture here, and he's finna tell a lot. They even try to send a black preacher in here. Just listen to this. It's crazy.
Just when we were sitting with the family, we had got a pastor of one community church. This is the church that they were going to right now. The senior pastor never reached out to him. He said he had just left and spoke to Karmelo. And so, that's cause of alarm. What the hell you doing back there? You know what I'm saying? He wanted a co-pastor. Right. So we like, okay, he don't need to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because evidently they didn't send this pastor there. You get what I'm saying? To talk to him. Because how do you skip to go to visit their baby and you ain't even reached out to them? But you go to him and then reach out to him later, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, of course, it's like, okay.
So let me break that down too, guys. I know he's speaking in Ebonics. I know everybody can't keep up with it. So what he was saying was that literally it was a pastor, a co-pastor of a church that Karmelo and them attended. They actually sent that pastor. When he says sent, he's assuming that people on the Metcalf side of things strategically sent this pastor over to be in the room. And at that time, with that being a familiar face to Karmelo, he probably could self-incriminate himself. So this whole time, he's like, hey, we just need to get an attorney over there that can stop the questioning, stop all the talking, and say, hey, no more questions for my person. I'm representing them. I need to get them out of here. So that's what he's saying right now, guys.
Okay, let's shut this down. And then so what happened was is I leave that situation and I reach out automatically to Frisco Police Department and say, hey, they getting threats, all this different types of stuff or whatever. They all this, y'all need to do whatever y'all need to do. I scheduled a meeting with them. Now, Rain, I told these people I'll come to Frisco. They came all the way to Dallas to my office to meet with me. Right. Lied to me and said they had a meeting at DPD. Now they ain't had no damn meeting at DPD. They said don't let this nigga come to my city. You know what I'm saying? And so they came. And so the mother and the dad reached out to me and said, hey, why aren't you in these meetings? I said, what meetings are you talking about? And there was a PR person named Casey Fox that was on this case. And she sent out a press release that Billy Clark and Kim T. Cole was the attorneys. Right. Everybody was like, what the hell, blah, blah, blah. They ain't got no experience, blah, blah, blah. And so I told the family, this is Sunday. They got a bond hearing Tuesday. Whoever you want to meet with, like, you got to find an attorney today, because if you don't want to reschedule this bond hearing, you got to. So I had to meet with another attorney, a black attorney. The first attorney I had to meet with was black. Rain asked me what the price that black attorney was. $500,000.
And listen to him, y'all. He's about to go into the spiel of what these black attorneys were asking.
They weren't talking until they gave him $200,000.
What the white man say?
75.
Let me run that back.
Bond hearing, you got to. So I had to meet with an attorney, a black attorney. The first attorney I had to meet with was black. Rain asked me what the price that black attorney was. $500,000. They weren't talking until they gave him $200,000.
What the white man say?
75.
75,000?
Yeah. So
as we speak about this, right? This is why I always say you have to take your emotions out of everything. Because the same people who are the loudest today were the same people who was refusing to help this young man in the midst of tragedy.
Yeah.
like this baffles me. Like we're, you know what I mean? It kind of sad to say, when Classic right, he right. It's almost no solution. Because people like myself or Classic, people who really want to make a change, we know what has to be done, but we know we'll turn around and nobody will be there. Yeah, this is a very uncomfortable conversation, but this man is now telling us, like, hey, y'all not even seeing what's going on behind scenes right now. This young man, Dominique Gold, from what I'm hearing, I just need to get this young man out of this jail and stop talking before he gets himself into something even worse. You know what I mean? And I gotta apologize. I'm apologizing publicly because I talked about it publicly. Hey, Dominique, if you are telling the truth on this interview, I had you all wrong, brother. I had you all wrong. Like, hey, I could be a man about, hey, I had you all wrong. If you're telling the truth, and this is what happened, I had you all wrong, dog. You know, even though your past was a little shaky, I had you all wrong, dog. I had you all wrong, man. I had you all wrong.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? Like,
because that's a big difference too. 500,000 to 75.
Yeah.
I mean, so the his back was against the wall from the beginning, you know.
From his own people, though. And we're finna play this next part because I see a lot of y'all want to say the foolish stuff that you seen on TV. That rims and house and stuff is not true. He's about to break that down too. For y'all who don't know, Karmelo Anthony's father was a very accomplished gentleman at the Mercedes-Benz dealership in Texas. He was a financial manager. He made great money.
Oh yeah, financial managers be getting it in.
So they weren't hurting. And watch, Dominique is finna talk about this stuff. And I'm kind of glad that he's now out of the light where he can now spread this. So here we go.
Thing was, it's like you got this reaction to this case, and you act like, say, man, if it was all these nigga attorneys that wanted to go out there and help that baby, it wouldn't have been no public seating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for what people don't understand is that as an organization, I'm not an attorney. So if you come to me and say you need my help, I have to put you in a conference room, and then you meet with the attorney. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not protected by attorney-client privilege.
So people don't know you just a middleman.
You just basically, you know what I'm saying? I'm just the navigator.
People on the news looking at you like you are the attorney.
That's what I'm the attorney. I'm the daddy.
But you place yourself in there. You place yourself the face of this case.
I placed myself to make sure that this family was protected. You know what I'm saying? But if people don't sit there and educate themselves, right? You know what I'm saying? You can go on any one of my social media sites and look at this and all this type of stuff or whatever, right? When that family go in there and meet with that attorney, they tell me what that attorney said. That attorney, I'm not protected by attorney-client privilege. You know what I'm saying?
Did you do it for the money?
What money?
The 600,000 I keep hearing about.
I don't have access to that.
You said you helped them start it.
When you get it started, that fund was started by KC Fox. When you get it started, you point it to a person.
Yeah,
it was pointed to the mother.
So the mother had access to it.
Yes, the family got the funds and had access to it and paid for the attorney.
Man, we was hearing you was buying all this shit with.
Man, listen, whatever people want to think, you know what I mean? That's why I can't keep up with the internet, the bloggers, or whatever.
You mean to tell me you to have full control of this?
No.
It was a house bought?
No, they was renting their house. And they still renting their house.
The fancy designers and all that.
Whatever them, I was about to say, whatever that Anthony family had prior to, the daddy was a finance manager.
Right.
So you sitting here talking about cars. When you work at a dealership, you can pull, you know people that work at a dealership, they can pull off any car in the lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but like people sitting there, when they post that picture about the house in the car, that picture was 2023. The house or whatever. Hell, when I came there, I was surprised that they lived in a gated community and stuff because the way.
Now listen to that. Even the pictures that they showed of a car in the house was from 2023. And that's why I wanted to play the judge first. Because I know a lot of us are going to get caught up in the race thing. And well, the judge said there was a lot of manipulation by social media. Well, now we have a black man who is now speaking in the same lane that there was a lot of form of manipulation. And I think it was something that, and thank you, Russell, you're right. He said it was a bunch of manufactured hate created. Like, and that's why I said the biggest thing that we could have done as a community was to try to support Karmelo Anthony best as possible. That's all we could have done. Like we allowed the narratives and all the stories that we heard to create us still going at each other, forgetting that if y'all heard our song at the beginning of the show, every second was going by, y'all. And that's what I'm trying to let y'all understand. One day in jail could traumatize a kid for the rest of his life. This man might be there for 35 years. And that's what we have to remember as we continue to go through these things in life. Who will be the example to allow us to stick together and say, hey, we both can disagree or agree to disagree, but hey, bro, how do we help him? How do we help him get lesser of a charge? Like, those are the conversations that we should have been having, not debating if it was self-defense or not. Hey, bro, he in Collin County, dog. He about to get the book thrown at him, dog. How do we support him? How do we support him? How do we support him? That's all we should have been saying. How do we support him? Hey, man, his family needs an attorney, man. These guys over here. And see, Dominique, I'm going to tell Dominique something if you ever get to watch this. You should have blew the whistle earlier. You should have came out. And see, this is another thing. We want to protect each other in public. But see, I would have exposed those people that didn't want to support him. Because we need to get those people out of the system. Because those people who didn't want to support him at all is still part of the system of the racism as well. They're still a part of the social injustices as well. Because if you're not willing to help someone who looks like you and you're putting a higher dollar amount on their life, you're no different than the system. And again, as Michelle Alexander said, we need to re-examine our assumptions. Like, we need to start re-examining how we think about the system, because the system might be two-sided and two races, not just one. So
that you saw it online, you would have thought they was living in Section 8 or something. Or
So
whatever.
this wasn't no poor black family.
No, they were a decent family. The daddy had a good job. You know what I'm saying? And the wife, you know what I'm saying? Mother, Kayla is one of the most beautiful souls ever. You know what I'm saying? A real structured woman or whatever, take care of her kids. You know what I mean? Sweet, polite. You know what I'm saying? Every time Karmelo looked at me, he said, yes, sir, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? Every time, not one time or whatever that he ever looked at me, he did not say, no, sir, yes, sir. Every last child in that house.
Well, so when you come in the first person to represent them, helping them, did they fire you after the trial?
No.
So you're not fired right now?
You can't get fired through what you never was hired.
Yeah.
I'm the president of the Next Generation Action Network.
What you say, Ray?
So why is there an assumption that he was fired or hired?
That's what he's saying. You see what I mean? I'll get to you, class. I got you. I'll make it make sense in a second. Okay. I got you, big dog. No. I said Classic was asking a question about what I mean about the two-sided and two races. Like, what I was meaning by that, Classic, was that sometimes both races are helping in the same system. Like, it can be two sides and two race. Like, they both can be helping each other. You know what I mean? Like, they both can be, because if you won't help this young man and you're putting a high dollar amount on this young man, you're not benefiting him at all. You're just part of the system at that point. So I hope that made sense. I know it probably came off wrong, like the way I said it, but hopefully that made any sense. But yeah, he's talking about, like, I couldn't get fired because I was never hired. He's a nonprofit. He's pretty much a civil rights advocate that comes in on cases to try to help the family understand how the whole systems and things work, because he's been involved in that. And he talks about, I mean, he did a lot of stuff for other things that happened throughout society and stuff that happened in Texas and so he, you know what I mean, kind of similar to a Charleston White to a certain extent. But yeah.
That's a human and civil rights organization. Right. I report to 14 people on the board of directors and make good money in doing that. I funded this organization when I was 25 in 2014. I work for the organization. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the organization accepts to help families when they have situations. You know what I'm
But
saying?
why don't you help the black on black crimes?
When I can, I do.
We didn't see you out there with
What's
Zeta Wizard.
Guess what? You know why?
Why?
Because
The West
around-
Dallas.
but around that time when Zeta Wizard was coming,
Mhm.
you got to remember, during this time, people don't even understand. I lost my own son to violence. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In Michigan. If people look at my social media or whatever, you'll see me actually having to go in front of in Saginaw, Michigan, going for the judge and sentencing and all that type of stuff or whatever. When I first started doing activism was Black on Stop the Violence. It was after Delisa Kelly was beaten and strangled to death and found. I literally created a law in state of Texas called the Clear Alert for victims of imminent dangers between the ages of 18 to 64. You know, who did the response when Siobhan Randall was found in that house, in that vacant house, and with Michael Titus years ago, right there down the street from home. You know what I mean? So the reality is, it's been a number of times. Who was there when and told them niggas on 2nd Street when that little 6-year-old got shot right there at the TMA and charged them up? You know what I'm saying? And literally brought all those Panthers down that doggone street. And so, like, bro, we've always been there. You know what I'm
But do
saying?
you only assert yourself on high profile cases just for the look?
No, because I'm gonna tell you about 80% of the work that I do, about probably 90, you never even know. You get what I'm saying? Who organized the kids to walk out of South Oak Cliff High School? Who led to a $62 million renovation? There were 600 kids. It's 1,600 kids. South Oak Cliff High School is the highest academically rated comprehensive high school in Dallas ISD right now.
Since the new building.
5 championship appearances. My name is on the building. You know what I'm saying? Who built the John Lewis Social Justice Academy, rebuild in Lincoln? Who built in the downtown Dallas school with 5, the first time in Texas where an all African-American instruction team is on that building. So if somebody want to sit here and say, man, I'm not just no ambulance chaser and all that type of stuff or whatever. If you know me, I prefer not to. But you know, when I was walking out of that Collin County courtroom, I didn't say, hey, cameras, come to me.
You didn't have to. You walked out like the Black Mafia.
They didn't, but at the end of the day, the work speak for itself.
They said you drove up with a bunch of Suburbans and hopped out like the Man in Black.
But you got to realize, in this case, people not understanding what people had to go through to stand in the gap for this family. Rain, I had to move. Niggas was surrounding my house. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy, a man named Rain.
Apartment when I'm living downtown.
Was it worth it?
I'm sitting here with anytime I've made the personal sacrifice of my life of standing and being the president of the Next Generation Action Network, right? But I have children. I have to protect it. These people are still calling the phone today, sending death threats.
But do you feel like you failed?
Let me tell you this, Rain.
Everybody.
If anybody that helped in this situation, and if you can't have a personal complex of yourself, like a personal accountability, anytime a case comes without the outcome that I didn't want, your personal thing, you feel like you failed. Many people around me, Dominique, you did best you can. I know I did the best I can. But a personal example, when I look at a baby that, see, you saying Karmelo Anthony name and different people saying Karmelo Anthony name, I know Karmelo Anthony.
Did you see a killer in his eyes?
No. That boy is a sweet man. The boy is so intelligent, man. The little boy is so intelligent and articulate, man. This boy right here is like a nephew to me. You know what I'm saying? The other day when the day after this and people are responding and this, that, and the third, Robert knows this, man. When they went on the camera and people seeing the rage, I didn't even want to talk. You know what I'm saying? The anger that was on me, the anger of the frustration that I have about this attorney, the all of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, when I remember the other day, the next day that my operations director was trying to keep somebody from showing me Karmelo's mugshot, and somebody did. And I literally fell to my knees, man, because I think people think this is a game and this is about clickbait.
How did they get them to TDC that fast? I never in the history seen someone go to trial and be shipped to TDC the next morning.
Now, let me tell you this, Rain. In high profile cases, they are done that way, but in a sense, they deliberately, that does not eliminate the fact that they deliberately tried to make a statement with this. Okay? Because we know that whatever the hell they had on Karmelo is not what they were down there. You get what I'm saying? Like we know that shit. You know what I'm saying? We got it's a whole Facebook group and Facebook page with niggas on live and all that type. We know they don't wear that down there. So what do he got on? You know what I'm saying? So we know that is a statement. We know that's a statement. But the reality is that people are coming at me about the legal process. I had to observe it just like everybody else.
The dad said that he was advised not to have a white lawyer.
He was advised.
A black
he was
lawyer.
advised not to speak to certain people. He was advised. They were trying. The defense counsel was trying to keep him from certain people.
So listen to this, man. If y'all want to, man, we'll put the link in the rewatch if y'all want to finish watching this interview. A great interview.
I just hate that he had to sit there and defend himself.
I mean, you got to do that sometime, because he's not defending himself; he's defending his past.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Dominique done time. We all knew the cases he had, and that's what people came out talking about first, his past. And that's why I'm saying, you know, we always talk about it on No Middleman. Your character will perceive you.
Yeah.
So when he jumped in, the optics became worse. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Like, that's what people don't understand. Like, he had the best intentions from what we're hearing, right? He had the best intentions for the family, but with him coming into the situation, it was bad optics.
Okay.
With that being said, he still tried to guide them the best he could. But then, as y'all just heard, they were even telling the father not to get a black judge, not to get a black attorney, you know what I mean? And then the black people probably were, we don't, like, $500,000 wouldn't touch the case until they got 200,000. He goes on later in the interview to talk to y'all about why they couldn't afford the lawyers at the time, right? Because those GoFundMes and stuff takes weeks to get into your account. Like, it's not, once they're released, it could take up to 4 to 5 weeks. So, like, in the midst of all this stuff that people thinking they're getting this money, it was literally them waiting on the money so they can get an attorney. And then, like you heard, I mean, they're trying to get their son out of jail at the moment. You know what I mean? You got a lot of fear, a lot of emotions, a lot of things of that nature. And he's going to go, I do want to play up to the point. He's going to go on and talk about how he went to actually do, ask black attorneys that he knew personally to help him out. But then they got him out. Watch how they got him. They did the bond for him.
That certain person was me. It's multiple people that I didn't show in attorneys that came out on social media and said, hey, no, Dominique actually had to meet with me.
So why are they blaming you? The family blaming you now?
The family's not blaming me. This is somebody's interpretation of it.
Yeah, the way he put them words together, we think everybody talking about you.
He said the defense counsel. But you got some people thinking I'm the defense counsel.
Niggas don't know what you is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going, like you said, he said that he didn't say the man's name, but he said the defense counsel was trying to keep, he was instructed to hire this attorney. He was told that it was probably good that you had white attorneys and all that type of stuff. And those are things that we were told. But these are things that we were dealing with, the cards that were dealt to us, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it wasn't like, man, listen, I've been doing this for a long time. Every black attorney that I called or whatever it may be, and the different ones, it's not like all of them responded saying, man, I want to go down there in Collin County. You know different attorneys that don't go to Tarrant or Kaufman or Ellis or Collin. You know what I'm saying? I want to deal with that. Or didn't. You know what I mean? I caught a case more than 8 years ago. And I had a black attorney, Bree West. She was out there doing the recaps for WFAA. She would literally tell you this white damn judge wouldn't even look up at her.
But why would y'all bring somebody from Dallas County to Collin County?
He practiced in Dallas, in Collin. That was through the research. He practices out there. He's on he has multiple different cases out there. So when you're looking for an attorney, you're going to look for who practices in the county. So if somebody it's easy to Monday night quarterback, right, but you got to realize we have 24 hours to do this. This is not a process where, okay, let's do this. I even told one of the black attorneys, the crazy part, I even told one of the black attorneys, hey man, do the bond hearing for me so that the family have time to find an attorney. Oh man, fuck all that. They can't give me. I'm just telling you what they responded. I'm not trying to fuck all that. I can't go. If they can't pay my retainer fee, then what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So did they even want to help him at all? Nobody wanted to help him in the beginning at all.
Nobody wants to do the hard work. Nobody wants to do the hard work when they know the fight is already. Classy, you got some truth there. There's some truth there, Classy. That's what I was about to say. a lot of people don't want to do the fight when they feel like they already know the result, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, we do need more people who are willing to take the fight. All I could think about when I was watching these things is like, man, Karmelo Anthony needed that Matthew McConaughey in Mississippi Burning.
Oh yeah.
When Morgan was that Morgan Freeman? Yeah, it was Morgan Freeman, right? They crashed out. He crashed out because they killed his daughter, and he came back. Like that's what somebody needed. They needed that Matthew McConaughey white dude who in the deep South who loved protecting the rights and justice of people. Like that's what they needed. They needed like that person who was willing to go every inch to fight and throw everything at the case. Just to say that, hey, we did everything we could.
At least be able to say that.
Yeah.
At least be able to say that much. Hey, we did everything we could. So
he said they needed a ninja lawyer. So I agree, but I'm talking about in this case they would need it. Still got to have that Matthew. Oh, okay. Dang, I missed that. Hey, classic. Hey, no. We got thousands of people watching. You're not doing that today.
Texas, they moved him fast after sentencing and all that. They processed him fast. I think that they already knew. They already knew going into it what it was. And that's why, and plus with it being such a high profile case, they wasn't gonna drag it on. Classic. They already knew where he was going.
Yeah, classic fool. Mario said, but the black community does not look out for each other, which is part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He said Karmelo needed Johnny. So yeah, man, that was our second interview of the night, man. So of course we're gonna move on to our last two interviews of the night. We appreciate everybody in the chat, man. I know everybody having some disagreements, but that's okay. That's what the society is built on. We don't have to agree all the time. We can agree to disagree as well. But I think the biggest thing is having this conversation, and I like the respectful conversation that we're having. That's the biggest thing out of this whole thing. So the third interview today, I had to find a short version of it because Breakfast Club did a long one, which would have copyrighted it. We would have been able to play it. So we're gonna play a little excerpt from the news or CBS morning show. And we're going to see what they had to say about it there. So we're going to hear Karmelo Anthony parents real quick. So we're going to let this play.
Teenager sentenced this week to 35 years in prison for killing a fellow high school athlete. On Tuesday, a jury found 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. His lawyers plan to appeal. They say prosecutors wrongly excluded Black people from the jury. Anthony's parents spoke with Jonah Kaplan about their son, the trial, and their message to the Metcalf family.
My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
It took less than 3 hours for a jury to reject 19-year-old Karmelo Anthony's claims of self-defense in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Prosecutors argued Anthony intentionally killed Metcalf after being taunted and shoved by Metcalf and his teammates at a high school track meet. Take us inside that courtroom. What stuck out to you?
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was trying to be, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
At the sentencing hearing, the defense called only one witness on Anthony's behalf, his mother, Kayla Hayes. What did you tell the jury?
To have mercy on my son.
What do you say to his grieving family?
It's unfortunate to where nobody wins. We've all been hurt by this. Everybody.
That poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff, called Anthony's sentencing bittersweet.
So we're gonna wait because old Metcalf is our last one of the night. So they talked to the parents. The dad confused me a lot. If y'all watch the Breakfast Club full interview, the dad confused me a lot. And I'm gonna say something tonight, and this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad, but I'm okay with it. This is why it's so important for mothers to have your fathers present for your children. Because this is Karmelo Anthony's stepfather. This is not his father.
Oh,
And this ain't his real dad. This is Karmelo Anthony's stepfather. And sometimes the lack of almost emotions, almost it's like I don't have the connection to like build up the anger and the passion I should have as a father to really go head first. Like, does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody? Like,
instead of deep diving, he just stuck his feet in the water.
Yeah, like
there for moral support, not
to
make
fight.
something happen support type deal.
Because he just didn't have a lot of he said, you know, my angle souls in the review, right? Yeah, do your thing. But my thing is like it was just a lack of like, oh, I didn't think nothing of the white jury. I thought truth was on our side. Like almost like the denial. Like as a father, dog, I probably would have aged about 50 years in a year. Like that's how you would have known that as a father, I've been up all night studying the law. I'm breaking my back to get money from what I need to get money for to get this and that. Like I feel like when you have that direct connection with the child, it pushes a little different. And that's why I feel like the mom is so emotionally connected. Like she's so involved and invested. And like, if you watch the Breakfast Club interview, like she's actually like telling stories about Karmelo in more detail because the father was missing stuff out of it. Like Karmelo dad starts to talk about him saving somebody at a swimming pool, and like he didn't really say a lot, like he didn't give all the, but mom really told you what the story was about. Like everything just comes a little bit different. And it's just something I thought about when I was like watching him a lot. Of like, I think it's hard. I can't judge him, right? Because I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel. He said that's not his real dad, bro. Go look it up.
As a mother, I think, no, don't get me wrong. Dad's biological parents' connections, dad's side matters. But as a mother with a son who has been bullied, who has been, in some situations where I had to step in. There were moments where I had to put my emotions to the side so I can come at somebody correctly. But with that being said, there are some moments where my emotions got the best of me. And Rain did not show up. It was a real mother showing up. My child's mother showed up. And it's when your child is being treated unfairly, treated poorly by people who shouldn't be, it's a different side of you that surfaces. I'm not a father, but I am a parent. But in my opinion, I would think that because men tend to be more logical and less emotional than women. Now, don't get me wrong, you have that biological connection, yes. But as a mother, we grow this child within us for 9 months. So I think as a mother, being on the emotional end is different than fathers. A little bit.
Yeah. So, yeah. And unless Miss Kayla never wanted to change her last name to her husband's name, maybe that's the stepmother. Maybe I got it backwards because her name is Kayla Hayes. He said they flagged. Did they flag the comments in too deep?
What if
But I'm assuming the mom, because her name's Kayla Hayes, and his father is Drew Anthony. So I don't know. Maybe the mom is the stepmom. So but yeah. So I don't know, man. I think you're right, Rain. I think mothers do have more of a emotional connection to it. So, but we will see. We will see, man. We will move on to the last one, man. The last one is going to come from Metcalf, the father. And this is what Mr. Metcalf had to say. We're going to actually go to a different interview than the one they were about to show on there. We're going to go over to this one right here. So here we go.
You don't belong in this community.
That's correct.
Metcalf's victim impact statement came at the end of Karmelo Anthony's murder trial. For months, the father of Austin Metcalf has been silenced by a gag order imposed by the judge. Now he's free to speak publicly and says he's also free of something else.
When I woke up this morning, it was a very different feeling. When I woke up, I felt like 1,000,000 pounds had been lifted off my shoulders. Because I used to wake up every morning with this anxiety, with this feeling of dread. And this morning was the first day I woke up with a feeling of peace, comfort, tranquility that I haven't experienced in 14 months. And I felt Austin.
Metcalf was in court every day of Anthony's trial. The 19-year-old now convicted murderer not only took his son Austin's life, he did it right in front of Austin's twin brother, Hunter.
What killed me was the body cam footage when I could hear Hunter screaming. Oh God, my brother, my twin. You know, as a parent, you always want to protect your kids. And to hear my son and the fear in his voice, and I'm not there to fix it.
What was it like sitting in that courtroom with Karmelo Anthony for 5 or 6 days?
Challenging is the first word that comes to my mind. And I'll even say this. I had a little bit of sorrow because I'm human. And that poor boy is fixing to experience a life that I would not wish upon anyone.
Metcalf says even today he's received death threats and has previously endured doxing of his personal information and multiple swatting calls to his house from people who he says have tried to villainize Austin and the family.
I would hope they take a look in the mirror. And if you have children, and if it was your child who was murdered, would you like people dragging his name through the mud, making memes, making jokes, and just really vile comments?
Where do you and the Metcalf family go from here?
Well, I mean, this is day one of a long healing process. Because honestly, it's been impossible to start healing until this trial was complete.
The trial may be over, but the racial polarization among Americans on display outside the Collin County Courthouse continues.
look at the effect, not just the effect here between the Metcalf family and the Anthony family. Look what it did, one, to those kids they have to live with. Two, it took on this huge, wider, let's have a race war throughout the nation.
Metcalf insists that his son had no racist motives when he approached Anthony about leaving a track team tent.
This case was never about race.
There's going to be those people now that just, try to throw shade on the whole trial with the jury makeup and the speed of it and that sort of thing. I mean,
well, those are the same people that said he was jumped by 4 people. His phone was broken. You're going to spin whatever story to try to keep yourself afloat.
Metcalf believes Anthony should have received a life sentence. He says if Anthony is up for parole in 17 years, he will be there in some form to argue against it.
If I'm still alive, yes, I will be there in person. If not, I am going to make a video, if I'm passed on, that can be played.
There are no walls in Metcalf's home without photos or paintings of Austin and his twin. These images.
So there you have it. You have it. We've seen the real Mr. Metcalf. I think you're starting to see the real Mr. Metcalf here. You can call it emotions, but some people might call it other things. I think you're starting to see the realness behind the emotions and things of that nature, which is to be expected. So he said, yeah. I don't think they're gonna release it. I don't think they're going to release it. I don't think they're gonna give people that at all. Like I don't think they're gonna release the video. If they do, it'll be when something is happening in the world that needs some form of distraction. Allegedly, we played the disclaimer, allegedly. So that's my opinion. What you got for this last topic, Raheem?
As a parent, he has all right to feel the way he feels. He lost his child, I still turning back to I think for the public's sake, so all these narratives can be put to bed, all these assumptions can be put what happens with assumptions can be put to bed. I think for the public's sake, whatever video footage they have of the incident minus the actual action that took Metcalf's life needs to be put out so people can stop making assumptions, so people can stop pushing their own narratives. I don't know if there's any tape or anything out, but minus the actual action that took his life, everything leading up to that, I think that needs to be put out for the masses, because people are gonna keep pushing their own narratives, and it's creating confusion and lack of understanding and just chaos, I would say, in all of it.
Do you think we're in a state that we can have that? Like, because I hear what you're saying. You're saying, but do you think we're ready for that? Like, do you think the world is ready? Like, because we're just on YouTube right here, right?
Right.
And people can't even have mature conversations in a chat without having to feel like they're going to be right or whatnot. Like, how do you think the world's going to handle seeing that video? I agree with you, Classic. I just want, my question though is, do y'all feel the world is ready?
I think it's needed, whether we're ready or not. Ready or not, here I come. It's needed. You know, whether we are ready or not is needed. That's the only way. I don't think tensions will die down. I don't think it's gonna help like the racism, no. But putting those narratives to bed that everybody keeps saying, oh, some people say he was provoked. Some people say he wasn't doing nothing but sitting there, and then the twins came. Get all that away. Move all that out the picture so that people's emotions can, come on back down. So we can actually see exactly we like to see, we're nosy people. That's why we got everybody wants to see what's going on. And then we get mad at people who's filming things that we watching if they don't have the camera up there just right. Because we're nosy, we want to see what actually happened. So I think it would help cut down on some of the confusion at the end of the day, but it's not going to help racism. It's not going to help.
So I want to read this to you guys before we end the night, right? Because I think having an understanding will also help us as well, right? So this is under the Texas Penal Code of Basic Principles. So let's say if we wanted it to fall under self-defense, right? It says self-defense. You may use force if, and it's 3 options. You are reasonably believe someone is using or attempting to use unlawful force against you. The force, number 2 is the force you use is immediately necessary to protect yourself. Number 3 is your response is proportionate to the threat. So let me read these 3 again. I'm gonna get to the lethal force one next. It says when self-defense is allowed, you reasonably believe someone is using or attempting to use unlawful force against you.
Unlawful force.
Unlawful force.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Number 2 is the force you use is immediately necessary to protect yourself.
Immediately necessary to protect yourself. I'm processing these words in because words matter. Okay.
And number 3 is your response is appropriate to the threat.
Response is appropriate to the threat.
So now we go down to when to use deadly force is allowed. This is under the Texas codes, y'all.
Texas
code. Your states might be different. Texas allows deadly force if you reasonably believe it is immediately necessary to, and these are the 2 options they give you. Protect yourself against another person, use or attempted to use deadly force.
Okay.
Number 2 is to prevent certain violent crimes such as robbery, aggravated robbery, murder, SA, aggravated SA, burglary, and kidnapping. And then in Texas, we also have the stand your ground law. You generally do not have a duty to retreat before using force. It says you lawfully present where the incident occurs. You did not provoke the other person. You are not engaged in criminal activity. So I'm sure with a great judge or a great attorney, you could possibly, a great attorney, not a great judge, but with a good attorney, you probably could use one of those. You probably could use one of them.
I want to know why.
And the blade, you right, class. The blade was legal size in Texas. You can carry, I think it's up to like 5, like something and a quarter or something like that. So you're right, yeah. Like you can carry like pocket knives and everything. You just can't have them on unauthorized locations, which the school ground and the track would be considered an unauthorized location.
Did the state or the court state why the charge was murder? Why they initially charged him with murder?
I would have to go look.
Okay, I haven't dove off into it.
Yeah, so yeah.
But I would want to know why initially that was there and not just manslaughter, because he didn't. To me, the intention wasn't there. He didn't walk up those bleachers, sit down, and said, "Oh, I'm going to these people today." There's no way. There's no way that was, I don't.
So this is in too deep putting it in there, but it's hard to put everything in there. So we gotta read everything. I think we take things for just like, oh, this right, this is wrong. It says Texas generally they normally allow adults to own and carry pocket knives, fixed blade knives, Bowie knives, daggers, switchblades, machetes, and swords. Texas law defines a location restricted knife as a knife with a blade over 5.5 inches. A knife 5.5 inches or less. You can normally carry these openly or concealed throughout Texas without permit. These are legal to own and carry in many places, but they are prohibited in certain locations. Places where the over 5.5 inches are prohibited include schools and school events, courthouses, secured areas of an airport, correctional facilities, certain sporting events, some hospitals and nursing facilities, certain bars, and other restricted locations. For your everyday carry, if you're carrying a folded pocket knife with a blade under 5.5 inches, you usually within Texas law in most public places. So you got to read all of it. I understand we're trying to make a mountain out of what they call it, a mountain out of a molehill, but I agree with you, class. I agree. That's the one thing I did say. I did say 35 years was too much. I did say that. I think I even said that on No Middleman that I would love if he would have got, I say 5 to 10. 5 to 10. And 10 would have been really on the high side, like really, really on the high side. Just with his clean history, his clean background, I thought he would have definitely gotten less. Definitely, yeah, I definitely thought he would have gotten less. That's one of the biggest things because, like, I'm a big component of prison and jail. Man, it affects anyone. Like, and somebody at such a young age, that's not a place. I don't know too many jails where, depending on your personality and your age, I don't know how a lot of people come out of that without getting learning more illegal things. I guess that's the way I would put it. But yeah, man, I would love to hear everybody, even on the replay, man. I would love to hear everybody's opinion on this. I think it's a very good conversation. Even if you don't talk about just the case, just in general, the whole things that we're currently experiencing in our society when it comes to the racial divide. I think it's becoming wider and wider. And the racial divide is also becoming an internal battle within the races too. I think you have white people who are upset at white people who have some remorse. I think you got black people are mad at black people because they feel a certain way because they want you to take accountability. I think the divide is just becoming more and more of a divide because everybody has their own opinion about it. But like I said, what has happened now. I think they're going to try to appeal it, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to try to go for manslaughter. So we'll see. But the biggest thing we can do tonight, though, for those who do care, I say the biggest thing we can do is pray for the young man because every day, every minute, every second that ticks off, he's becoming a different person.
Oh yeah,
he's experiencing things that some of us will never experience, hopefully, and some people have experienced and don't want to experience it again. So I think the biggest thing is just praying, man, praying for him, praying for the society, praying for the culture, everything, dog. We just have to be better. And when I say we, I mean everybody, not just black people. I think everybody just have to be better. And be okay with disagreeing, but making sure that we're all still trying to go in the right direction. I think that's the biggest thing. So shout out to everybody who lasted this long. We appreciate you guys. I appreciate Rain. I know you had a show earlier, so I appreciate you doing back to back. He said, yeah, I agree with you. He said prison is definitely not someone for young as he. Yeah, I definitely agree, man. So, and to be honest with y'all, for the most part, even in the comments, I know we didn't read them out tonight. But there was a lot of people even kind of having some agreeing to disagree moments, which is very healthy. I think there's a lot. Classy said you got to leave America ASAP, man. Just don't take yourself that you are in America to these other countries. Y'all think the laws here hard. Go do something stupid in another country. Just make sure everybody, man, leave a comment. Catch this on a rewatch, leave a comment. Y'all make sure y'all go over to Soft Rain's channel. We'll be adding her as a collaborator. So when you click on the video, you'll be able to see it. And she will also be possibly premiering a little piece of it on her channel soon. So shout out to my wrenches in there. Thank you, Miss Ambition. She said, everyone have a safe and blessed night. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you too for 1181 today. He said, I'm out the way. He's so stupid. Hopefully I can eventually convince Classic to talk about it. And it don't even got to be long. I just would love to hear I love to hear people's perspectives.
Yeah.
I don't care to be right. I love to hear other people's perspective and see like, hey, you know what? He has some good points there. Those type of things, man. Yeah, it all could have been avoided. You're right, In Too Deep. It all could have been avoided for sure. But we appreciate y'all tonight, man. This was same soul, different different roots. With myself, Souls of Thought, and the one and only Soft Rain. He said, no, sir. Y'all could tune in. We will have No Middleman tomorrow night. So tune in to No Middleman tomorrow night. You will also have Plug In with Doe tomorrow at 6:30 Central Standard Time. Him and Doe, Plug and Doe will come on Uncle Plug TV. Yeah, Mira, you're right. She said we have to learn how to communicate with respect. I definitely agree. Y'all make sure y'all help Soft Rain get over that 500 subscriber mark. But she should definitely get it out tonight. So you should definitely get it once she added as a collaborator. Y'all make sure y'all just click on it. It's a simple 2 seconds to go subscribe to her page. We'll appreciate it. It's all love, man. For the people who have the hate and the stupid comments in the chat, it's good to know who you are.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest
show
thing.
themselves all the time.
Yeah.
Believe the first time.
You will always get the truth eventually. You know what I mean? That's why we didn't have to say too much about Metcalf's father. You seen the truth coming out of him. It slowly sinks. You know what I mean? One of my old pastors used to say, you can't put on a costume every day. Somebody gonna finally understand who's underneath that costume. I do have a second page I'm starting called the Faceless Father Productions. Y'all tune in over there. I should have some content up by Wednesday or Thursday on that page. And my goal there is to drop a couple things off a week. So it's going to be called the Faceless Father, where we can talk a little bit more in depth about conversations. Get me over that 500 mark there. Shout out again to Miss Ambitious. She said, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Appreciate you. Same roots, different soil. You tell them In Too Deep. And we've been busy creating content, but me and In Too Deep we do have something special coming for y'all.
All right.
Yeah, In Too Deep already did all the leg work. So I just got to get some time, but we have a great product coming very soon, man. So shout out to In Too Deep. Yeah. So shout out to In Too Deep. Get classic code over the 5K subs and make sure you subscribe to the RSC, man. We're right on the cusp of being monetized for RSC, guys. So y'all go over there and hit that subscribe button and get some watch hours on the videos that are up. But you can go ahead and do our normal closeout, Rain.
Normal closeout.
If you have
I can bring it up.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. And that's another conversation from same soil, different roots, different perspectives, different life experiences, but all rooted in something real. From me, Soft Rain, and of course, Souls of Thought, we appreciate everybody who pulled up tonight, share their perspective, and allow space for honest conversation. Whether you agreed, we saw that, disagreed, we saw that, or somewhere in between. Our goal was to never talk over each other. It was to understand each other just a little bit better. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you know when we're going live. Share it and keep the conversation going in the comments because we do talk back. And remember, even when we come from the same soil, our roots can grow differently. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, man. We're going to finish off this song from the beginning of the show, and then we're going to be closing it out. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great night.
Sometimes the hardest truth is the one we don't share. We want a villain, we want a hero too, but real life ain't a movie, it's what people choose to do. One day can change what took years to build. One moment of emotion, one future still. So what do we gain if the blame never ends? If nobody learns, history repeats again. We're wasting precious minutes, precious time, pointing fingers while the clock keeps its stride. Everybody talking, everybody got a side, but accountability is where the answers hide. Precious minutes, they never come back. One decision can forever change a path. The noise gets louder, but the lesson stays clear. Actions got consequences, whether fair or severe. Silence ain't surrender, silence can be growth. A chance to face reality instead of feeding hope. Not every battle needs another debate. Sometimes wisdom arrives when it's already too late. Look around, life moving every day. Children watching, learning what we say, what we teach. Excuses or ownership instead. That's the question that keeps ringing in my head. The gag order's gone, now the voices run free, but the future belongs to what we're willing to see. 35 years, and the lesson remains. We can keep pointing fingers or break the cycle of blame. Precious minutes, precious time. The clock keeps moving, whether wrong or right. Learn from the moment before it's out of sight, 'cause tomorrow is built by what we do tonight. You learned from grace, I learned from grind. Different lessons, same fight for the mind. Couch conversations cut deeper than pride. No filters here, nothing to hide. We question the past, we challenge the now. Trying to figure out the why and the how. Different views, but the same pursuit. Understand